And I believe I still have that tab muted. Let's see if it comes up. Let's see, and does it say... It still says testing Discord, though. Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out where that is, because... Oh, when I refresh, it now says something wicked instead of testing. We are still learning countdown timers, but pretend there are less. There are fewer because you can count them. Then 5 minutes on the clock. Yes, I am. What's that? It shouldn't be. Okay. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to night 2 of The Plastered Dragon. I know, it's crazy. We started this chaos yesterday afternoon, and we have gone out of control. We've got 2 streams in 2 days, and we're not stopping there. Hopefully you can hear all of our people. If you can't, please let us know in the Discord and in the Twitch chat. This is our first attempt at streaming a Discord call to Twitch, so I can't tell you exactly how it's going to work. If it goes awry, let us know. We will fix it. We are here for you. Normally at this point, I would say when we last left our heroes. However, for those of you who might be new to the stream, and because we don't have the first 3 episodes stored anywhere for you, I want to give a slightly longer recap before we get into our show tonight. The campaign started mere days ago at the Plastered Dragon, the local magic bar where all of the people who know about the world of magic go to congregate to get jobs. It's neutral ground. It is a corded neutral territory. That means that good and evil can both go there. They can mix, mingle, do whatever they want. No fighting. Weapons checked at the door. And there are magical wards in place to prevent anything bad from happening. Or so we thought. As our story began, the party was not a party yet, but a gang of scattered individuals, each with their own reasons for being there. However, the bar, exploding by magical means, has pulled them all together. And a number of prominent figures were killed in the blast, including leaders of some local guilds, leaders of some sinister organizations, and a noble of the Summer Court of the Fae. All of this is pretty bad, and our heroes decided to band together and try and figure out what was going on for the good of the community and for their own well-being, because they were caught in the blast as well. As they were leaving the bar and trying to begin their investigation, they discovered 3 elderly women around a trash can fire in the alley. These women seemed somewhat akin to the witches from Macbeth and gave grave portents of doom, and assured them that something wicked did indeed come this way. And that spurred them on to investigation further. They stopped off at the North End Guild, as that was one of the people that was killed, the leader of that guild. Didn't really get much information. So they stopped at the Southie Guild first. Then they headed to the North End. On their way to the North End, they encountered a creature that none of them had ever met before. Some kind of weird astral spectral dog that wasn't really a dog, but more like an amalgamation of the idea of a dog and bits and pieces that just all seemed somehow wrong. When they went to the North End Guild, they also discovered that they were not behind it either, and traded some information and discovered that there had been some, let's call them dimensional breaches. One around the time that the tavern exploded, and one around the time that the Astral Hound showed up. After exchanging information, they regrouped at a Denny's, came up with a plan where they were going to go and talk to the Fae Court, as that seemed like the next most important thing, and turned in for the night at Reginald's place. Our heroes are Keel, Nicholas, Zuki, Reginald, and Zephyr, each bringing their own unique talents to our story, and you will see them unfold before you as we continue onward tonight. They met with the Fae last week on our episode, where they were not able to discover as much as they wanted, except for the fact that the Fae were clearly not behind it, but were holding Sam, the proprietor of the Plastered Dragon, responsible. Along the way, Zuki managed to connect to her Fae heritage a bit, while slipping out of the presence of the remaining party members, much to Reginald's chagrin, who has either appointed himself or been appointed her protector. It's not clear yet how all of that played out. But Zuki has now managed to form bonds with both the Summer and the Winter Court, and in exchange for information, the Winter Court was granted the favor of being allowed to have Nicholas and Zuki visit them for an hour a week for at least 4 weeks, and for as long as Nicholas and Zuki want, to teach them about their elvish heritage, the two of them being half-elves. And these are unsupervised visits, which has made Reginald more than a little bit nervous. They returned from the Feywild, working from some other information, including a weird necklace that they found, which was made of an otherworldly material. They resolved to check an occult bookstore in the morning when it opened, and retreated to Reginald's apartment again to rest for the night. As soon as they were there and Zuki was behind closed doors, she immediately conjured forth the member of the Summer Court that had whispered to her his name and how to get in touch with him. And that is where we left our heroes. Dun dun dun! So, everyone is out and has settled down and more or less gone to sleep, and Zuki calls out thrice the name of the Lord of the Summer Court, and his visage appears before her. Ah, there you are, my dear. You showed exquisite patience. I wasn't sure how long it was going to take you to talk to me.
Well, I had to have some time alone. I'm not sure everyone else would have been thrilled about this.
Well, it is high time you started making choices of your own volition. Good for you. How may
Thanks.
this humble servant of summer serve you?
Well, you told me you could tell me a little bit more about my bracelet, so I was hoping that...
And so I can. That bracelet is made of a rare material found in the caves and mines of the Winter Court. I have only seen a handful of items created from it. If I had to guess, I would venture to say that you can summon forth a magical weapon from it. Am I right?
Perhaps.
I am right. Now,
What is this metal called?
this metal is called winter ore. I know, not very creative, but they lack our sense of poetry in winter. I suppose it's because it is always cold and dark. What can
I suppose.
I suppose. So, what can I help you understand?
Didn't you say that you've only seen one other like this? Did you mean one other bracelet, or do you mean one other...
Yes,
Item of any
one
sort.
other bracelet.
Where did you see it?
Oh, it was on the wrist of a man, an elvish man of the Winter Court. He was one of their knights. And he conjured forth from it a great sword. And this sword was devastating in its power. It's really quite wonderful to behold.
What was his name?
Ah, I'm sure you'd like to know that, wouldn't you? But I can't tell you everything at once, after all. We in the Fey Court, we share information, and I have given so much, and what have you given me? And he clutches his hands to his chest in a wounded gesture. Oh,
All right, what do you want to know?
well, it seems to me that you and your friends, for some reason, have involved yourself in this matter of summer with the plastered dragon. I suppose my first question is why?
We're just trying to find out what happened.
Yes, but you have
People
everything.
died that shouldn't have died.
Oh, who is to say who should and should not have died? That is not easily answered.
You know what? It's enough that people died.
Perhaps. Perhaps not. But you have everything to lose and nothing to gain.
Shouldn't you just do something because it's the right thing to do?
The right thing for who, my dear? And while we're pondering this, we're going to slip back out because everyone is asleep except Reginald, who has been very restless. And although Zuki and her new best friend are being quiet, Reginald has been pacing, troubled by various things. And Reginald, I would like for you to give me a perception check.
A 18.
An 18 is a pretty good perception check. As you are pacing about your apartment, you're like mindlessly tidying up. It's a pointless task because this is very much a bachelor's apartment, and you've had several people here for the past night. So it's even more in disarray than usual. But you definitely don't remember anybody in this group bringing in a manila envelope. And as you're moving things aside, you find a manila envelope that is not yours. The handwriting on it, though your name is there, is not your handwriting.
I want to check on everyone sleeping to make sure everyone's fine.
Okay.
Is everyone in the living room okay?
Everyone in the living room seems to be fine. Everyone seems to be resting peacefully.
I go check on the door to Zuki's room. Is
It
is
locked.
everything? Is she okay?
It's,
Do I
it's-
hear anything if I put my ear to the door?
Give me a perception check.
Higher. 22.
You don't hear anything. It is silent in that room.
I don't hear anything at all.
You don't hear anything at all.
Okay. I go and check the locks on the front door to
Okay.
make sure to see if they were tampered with at all.
Okay. You open up the door and you're looking at the exterior lock. Give me an investigation.
Okay. That is a 7.
Those locks look just like they always do.
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
love those locks. We
you
go
have-
way back.
You have good security on your place. There's no reason to assume there's anything wrong.
I love that boulder. That is a nice boulder.
It really
Okay.
is. It really
Uh,
is.
Yeah. Okay. I will. Yeah. I will. I will open the envelope in the
Okay.
kitchen.
So you go into the kitchen. Now, a question for you about the envelope. How long ago did you leave England, would you say?
Oh God. 6, 7 years ago.
Okay.
Does that fit within the timeline? I
Yeah.
think. Yeah.
Absolutely. So you open up the envelope, and inside you find several photographs.
What are they of?
Well, you don't recognize the location, but you do vaguely recognize the people. They look older. There was a young boy in the photo, but the features are still familiar to you. And these look like surveillance photos, like someone has been following them and wants you to know they are being followed.
I find the nearest bottle of whiskey
Okay?
and pour myself a cup, and then I go knocking on Zuki's door.
Okay. Nicholas, I need from you a wisdom saving throw.
Oh,
9.
wait,
That's a 9. Excellent. Okay.
Awesome. Top.
Yes. As everyone who is familiar with saving throws knows, a 9 is almost always going to make it. So you're fine. This is
Historically, they're the best.
fine.
Anything
It's-
higher is just overkill.
It's overkill. The cleric gets a 9 on his wisdom save. Got it. Okay, good. Meanwhile, we go back.
oh.
Meanwhile, let's go back to Zuki.
So I've told you some things now. So can you tell me the name of this person that you
Well-
saw wearing?
Well, you told me a thing, but yes, I suppose I can tell you one of his names, perhaps. I mean,
One of his names?
well, people of his caliber often go by many names. And a name
All right.
is a useful thing because different names can be used in different situations, you understand.
So what is one of his names?
You may refer to him as Lord Duramir.
Duramir?
Duramir. Yes. Knight of the Frozen Wastes. She's not answering when you knock on the door.
I pick the lock.
Okay. Go ahead.
This is Dex plus proficiency, right? It's my first.
Yes.
Yes. This is a.
You're out
It's
of
a nat
frame.
19.
Okay.
It's a nat 19. Yes.
Okay. Nat 19. You go and you pick the lock, and the handle turns, but the door does not move.
I start breaking down the door.
Okay. Go ahead.
How long ago did you see him?
I start yelling at the people asleep.
Can she hear this happening?
No, you cannot.
I yell for Keel. I tell Zephyr to wake up. I yell for Nick. I'm just screaming as I try to break down the door.
You guys, there's a horrible, awful commotion in the apartment. He's like, Reggie, he's like holding whiskey. He's pounding on Zuki's door, and he's just shouting almost incoherently as you guys wake up.
Or you're watching Home Alone again?
Nick, the door. It's being blocked from the other side. I know my own house. There's something holding this door. I need your help. Oh, anyone, please.
Kill!
Keel hops out from wherever he was sleeping and runs to the door and first reaches out and tries to use his divine sense to see if there's anything off, anything he can sense on the other side.
Okay. You sense nothing on the other side unusual.
Can I try something?
Yeah.
I look at the door and I say, whatever is on the other side of this door, whatever invitation you were given, I revoke your invitation. You are no longer welcome here. Get out.
Okay. So Zuki, what had you just asked? Oh, how long ago was it that you saw him?
How long ago did you see him wearing this bracelet?
Oh, it couldn't have been more than a couple of months. I'm sure of it. We had a summit. We have monthly summits of winter and summer. As the seasons change, as the months change, the balance of power shifts between our courts.
Could you help me talk to him?
Oh, I suppose I could. I believe our next gathering is in a couple of weeks. Perhaps you could arrange to visit the Feywild then, and I could have you by my side at the meeting. How would that be?
Perhaps. Let me think about it.
All right. Well, you know how to reach me. I will leave you with one last piece of advice. Do
Okay.
not just secure your doors at night, my dear. You must always secure your windows. Goodbye for now. And he shimmers and fades out. As he fades out, the door, you hear your alarm go off, your door alarm, and the door bursts open, and Keel and Reginald come tumbling into the room.
Swords drawn. I don't know about Keel, but I have sword out, scanning the room.
Okay.
Keel's got a 10-pound sledgehammer, clutching with both hands.
So there are two heavily armed friends who are just kind of standing in your doorway.
What happened?
What's wrong? What's wrong?
We screamed and yelled, and we couldn't get in the door. The door was unlocked, and it was being held shut by the other side. What was...
No. I locked the door tonight, and I put up the little alarm system that I usually put up, but you guys weren't screaming and yelling. I would have heard that.
I unlocked the door because that's what I do, and we tried to push it open, and no amount of force would allow us to come in the room. Who was in the
If
room?
you had just knocked, I would have opened the door. I don't understand what the big deal is.
Suki, we were screaming as loud as we could and knocking on the door. Did you not hear anything?
I did not hear you.
Were you alone in this room?
Well,
I don't even need to do an insight check to know you're full of shit right now.
Technically, she was alone.
I mean, Scritch was here. He's my rat, but you know that.
As these two are arguing, Keel's going to check the window for anything.
The window is unlocked, but you can go ahead and give me an investigation check.
Can I assist with this and give him advantage?
Sure. Are you going to stop berating her to go over there?
Yes, to make
Okay.
sure that the entrances and exits to this room are secured. Absolutely.
Then yes, you
Total.
can. You can give him advantage on his investigation.
It's a 19.
A 19. You're looking at the window, and it's pretty dusty. It doesn't look like Reginald cleans this stuff all that much. And although there's no indication that anybody has been on the windowsill or anything, there are disturbances in the dust underneath, like as if someone had lifted the window recently, but somehow come in without actually touching the sill.
I'll point this out to Reginald.
I see. So have you entered or exited the window recently, Zuki? Or is this someone else coming into the room?
I have not, and I have not seen anyone enter or exit through the window. To my knowledge, no one has entered or exited through the window in this room.
All right. Gentlemen, I'm so sorry to wake you all. And
Did you
I
want to
know
insight
that
check that, Reg?
I don't
course you
feel
can.
like I need to, but I would love to insight check
All
that.
right, go ahead.
That is a 17.
She's telling the truth. She has not seen anyone enter or exit through the window.
All right. Gentlemen, I'm so sorry to wake you all. Do you mind if I have the room for a minute?
Of course.
Sure.
Keel exits.
Nicholas and Zephyr also exit.
Yeah, I hadn't actually gone in. I was just kind of peeking around the corner, seeing what was going on in there, and so
Fair
I
enough.
back out to the main room.
Pull the door closed. They were all going to like lean up against this.
Yep.
So you close the door and you're all leaning against it. Okay,
Yes.
this is fine.
This is fine.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Reg, perception for me.
I actually had another idea. I was going to count to 5 on my hand and then just open the door really quickly to see who was leaning up against the door.
Okay, that's fine.
Well,
Then I'll give the three of you outside perception to see if you notice the sudden movement from within and give you a chance to dodge out of the way.
I rolled a 19, but I have no desire to dodge away.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm listening to the door.
fall right into the room. Yay! Whoa!
All right, so you count to 5, and you yank the door, and the three of them tumble in Three Stooges style.
Hello, gents.
Hello!
Hello.
Well, let's try this again, shall we? Do you mind if I have the room, gents?
All yours, buddy.
Sorry.
And I,
You mean you want privacy?
yes, Zephyr, I would love some privacy if
Well,
that's
if
all
you'd
right.
said that the first time, maybe.
You know what? That's on me. I should have been more specific. Thank you, Zephyr. You are insightful and astute as always. So,
So we're all going to go this time.
I actually go sit in a chair.
privacy, please. Yes, thank you.
So he closes the door again. Anybody eavesdropping this time?
Oh, as soon as he closed the door, right back closed the door.
He walks into the room and he looks at Zuki and He sighs and he says, "What's going on?"
I'm trying to find out information. You know, these interactions that we've had with the Fey courts have been the closest I've ever come to finding information on my dad, and you know that.
I understand that you have had a desire to find your father, but you have not always been forthcoming with information about your personal life. And me calling anyone not forthcoming with information about their personal life, I understand how naive that sounds, but
I haven't shared much because there was no point to sharing something I couldn't find information on anyway.
I understand that, but the young woman that I've been working with in the past is different from the young woman I see before me at the moment. The young woman I've worked with in the past has been able to control her emotions and does not put her friends in danger. She doesn't have friends. And I understand the need for information, and I understand the drive to find that. But I'm starting to lose sight of who you are.
My mother spent a lifetime trying to find any information on my father. A lifetime. I lost her trying to find information on my father. And now I have the chance to find out information on my father. Forgive me for being a little impulsive. When there are 2 generations of people that have been trying to track down anything on him.
In the small amount of time that you've met the gentlemen that are more than likely right outside this door as we speak, in the small amount of time that you've known them, in the larger amount of time that you've known me, would any of us have turned down an offer to help you rather than keeping secrets, rather than what I believe something happened in this room that you are not being forthcoming about? In the small amount of time that I have saved your life countless times, what makes you think that if you had asked me for any sort of help, I would have said no? I will give you a place to stay. I would give you the shirt off of my back. I would give you the blood out of my body. And so would the men outside this door.
But you don't trust any of them. And maybe you don't have a right to trust any of them. And maybe I shouldn't trust any of them. But if they're the closest I can come to finding out the information that I need, then I have to figure out a way to work with them. And I don't feel like you're going to be comfortable with that.
I'm never going to be comfortable with that. And you shouldn't be either. You should never be comfortable working with the other side. You should keep them at a healthy distance. You should use them for all they're worth. You should get the information you need, but you should never be comfortable with any of these people you're interacting with. People...
I felt like you would have stopped me.
Stopped you from doing what?
From exchanging information, from talking. From finding out... The one clue that I have to him is this bracelet.
At the Winter Court? You still haven't shared with me what you gleaned from the Winter Court. What information are you speaking of? Help me.
The gentleman from the summer court had information about my bracelet.
Yes, he did. What did he tell you at the bar?
He didn't tell me anything at the bar, other than he'd seen one before.
All right. So we'll find him. We'll talk to him. We'll get information. Keel can be there as backup. Nicholas can be there as backup. Zephyr is a very adept magician. I don't think even he knows what power he's capable of. We can be there. Let's schedule a meeting. Let's speak to him.
He's not going to give me information with you guys around.
All right. So let's schedule a meeting where it's just the 2 of you then. And we'll be close by.
Taken care of. Done.
Tonight? Just now. In my house. With the 3 of us, the 4 of us outside. Not knowing what dangers could be coming at us from the other side of the door while you were kept in a little bubble. Tonight.
Perhaps it wasn't the best choice I've ever made.
No. No. In fact, that may be the only thing tonight we are in agreement on. But it was your choice to make. And I think you've made it very clear that this information to you is important. So, all right. It's good to know. And he looks down at the papers in his hand, the photos, and he looks up at Zuki, and he walks out the door.
Perception for me,
And closes.
Uh, 16.
There was a stack of photos that Reggie was holding, and you didn't get a good look at them, but you did notice that the photo that was on the top, there were two people in, one of which was a young boy.
What's that?
I would like to tell this, but I'm going to wait and save this and tell it to a friend. So ask me another night. And I close the door.
Okay. Do you reset your alarms?
Yes.
No, I wasn't talking to you.
Me.
Oh.
No.
Okay.
No. I don't even lock the door.
Do you go back to bed?
I let everyone know in the room that while we were sleeping, while you were sleeping, it's a great film, and if you haven't seen it, you should see it. But while you all were sleeping, Zuki reached out to a member of the fairy court and invited them into the residence and communed with them, and it was the douchey one. It wasn't even the cool one with the wolves. It was the one that looks like he could be a poster boy for some douchey McDoucheton store in England. I'm very tired, and the whiskey hasn't kicked in yet. Nevertheless, she invited him into the house, and that's why we couldn't break in the door. And I'm upset, and I'm tired, and I have reason to believe that someone broke into the apartment while I was gone. And I'm the one that breaks into places, and it's got me upset. So she's my responsibility.
So what made you think that somebody broke in? I mean, other than in a room.
They left an envelope for me containing information regarding my past before I came here to the States. And it was information of a personal nature. It's not going to endanger any of you, and I'd rather keep it to myself if that's all right with all of you. But
I mean, I hear what you're saying. I hear you. But are you sure you don't want to share it? I mean, sharing is caring.
I have a past, as we all do, and there are people that I once had in my life that were major parts of my life that are no longer in it, and I wished for them a better world than the one the five of us are all involved in, the four of us, not including Pat, and he's not here at the moment, but but I wanted to keep them separate from it, and it's just, it looks like they're being dragged into it. So, I'm sorry. I have no excuse for what Zuki did tonight, and to endanger all of you. And
Hug.
no, oh God,
Hug.
no, please, no,
Hug.
no. Oh, I hate this.
Hug.
I hate this so
Hug.
much.
Hug.
I hate.
Bring it in.
All right,
Bring it in.
hug,
Bring it in.
hugging.
Hey,
This
Nicholas is a nurse. He knows, okay?
Oh, I'm a hugger.
All
I'm
right.
a hugger.
He's Reginald stands there with his arms at his side, and all right, this is fine. We're fine.
Oh, just let it happen. Just
Yeah,
let it happen.
Nicholas, give me a medicine check.
That one.
It rolled like crap. 15.
15. That's a pretty good hug. using your knowledge of physical therapy, massage, pressure points, and that stuff, in spite of the fact that he's not leaning into the hug, you still are able to offer him some comfort and some relaxation through this hug.
All right. Well, that wasn't the worst thing in the world, and if you tell anyone I said that, I'll kill you. All right.
Do I hear all this conversation going on in the other room?
Yeah. This is they're not being quiet.
All right.
Who's next? Who wants a hug?
Gentlemen, let's all rest, please. But if you want to all hug, that's fine.
I feel like we're bonding. It's awesome.
We are bonding. You know what? F it. Yes. You know what I say? We order some pizzas. It's late. We listen to music, or we have Zephyr sing us some music, and I could use some fun before we rest. How does that sound? There's pizza, right? Americans like pizza.
Who does?
I've got whiskey. It's very old and it's very strong. Who would like a glass?
I'll take one.
Yes, Zephyr. Are you even old enough to drink?
Of course, I'm. Yes.
Yes. Wow. But we have to work on your lying because that was dreadful. All right, I do that. I've never done it before, and Reginald's never done it before. And before I knock on Zuki's door,
Okay.
right before I order the pizza. What kind of pizza do you like?
I come out of the room. And I look at everybody. And I say, listen. I'm sorry I put you guys in danger. I don't know if any of you know what it's like to want to need information so desperately that you feel like you'll do anything for it. But if you don't feel safe with me here, then I will be happy to go. And I walk towards the door.
No.
Skill immediately puts himself in between Zuki and the door. I totally understand what it is. You'll do anything to get any information you can. I lost my dad it's been a couple years now, and I need to figure out who killed him. But it's not safer out there for you. We all need to stick together regardless of what's going on.
But maybe according to Reggie, it's safer out there for you guys. If I'm out there.
It's not safer out there if you're forthcoming with us. It's not other people that are going to kill us. It's our own stupidity that's going to kill us. I have faith in the talents of everyone in this room. And that's why I didn't say get out. I said, what do you like on your pizza? Because the secret to adulthood is we don't know anything. We know age has granted us a modicum of wisdom, and because of everything that's happening in our life, I'm becoming a firm believer in God. Even saying this makes it feel like Nick is hugging me. We're only going to get through this together. So I ask again, with all the sincerity in the world.
In our life, we all have pain. We all have sorrow.
Everybody except for Zephyr, give me a perception
If
check.
we are wise, we know
Oh,
that
that's funny.
there's always tomorrow. Lean on me
Nat
when
one.
you're not strong, and I'll be your
Come
friend.
on, everybody.
I'll help you carry on. It won't be long till I'm gonna need
See,
somebody to lean on. Please.
this is
All of a sudden we get
Okay, Zephyr. Thanks.
See, this is why you need to tune into the Plastered Dragon. Not only do we give you weird skill checks for things that you never thought you'd have to roll for, like hugging, but you get bard sing-alongs. So, I mean, this channel, miles above anything else out there. Just letting you guys know.
That's right.
I'm just waiting for the time when I crit hug. It's going to be
critical
awesome.
hug, yes.
A critical hug.
Critical hug. That's the name of the episode.
Critical hug.
Critical hug.
Critical hug.
That's the front runner right now. We don't want to decide too soon because there's other stuff that could happen. But yeah, critical hug is a good one. Okay, so what were the perception checks? Keel had a
15.
That one for Keel.
Okay, so Keel is just caught up in the music. Nicholas had a nat 20. Zuki
I
had a
had a nat
15.
20.
And Reg.
I also had a nat 1.
So you aren't caught up in the music so much as you're battling between annoyance and trying to give in to this bonding thing, which is way too new for you and unnatural.
I hate it. Yeah.
And Keel is just like, Keel's got his cell phone out and he's kind of doing this. And Zuki and Nicholas look over at Zephyr and kind of look at each other. For the first time, they realize he's playing an electric guitar. He doesn't have an amp.
Noise.
Yeah. I walk over to the sofa, not noticing this, and I sigh, and I smile a little bit, and I say, would any of you like to look at a picture of my son?
What?
And then it's a montage of pizza and singing and whiskey.
We're all doing each other's nails.
We're all doing each other's nails and
Pillow fight.
yeah.
Zephyr gets knocked across the room.
All right, do you guys just kind of do you hand out the pictures, or do you like just show them one of them? What do you
No, I just show them one of them.
do? Okay.
And of course, Zuki at least would ask what happened.
So go ahead.
What happened to your son?
Baby steps.
Don't tell me if I'm
Let's
gonna
start.
cry.
Let's start here. But this is what he looks like. He's beautiful.
Oh,
He has
he's
his
a
mom's
good-looking
looks.
kid. That's right. Just gonna say, thank heavens he took after his mom.
Yes, thank heavens.
Do you want to describe the other person that's in the picture with your son?
Do I know who that is as well?
Yeah, you do.
No.
Okay.
It's an older gentleman, and he has he's got a sort of dark skin, fine features, tall, very tall, and he's got somewhat of a furrowed brow, and he's standing close to the somewhat of a young teen in the photo. But that's the only two people in there.
Each of you give me a perception check on that photo.
21.
21?
It's a 5 for Keel.
11.
11.
16 for Zephyr.
20, not nat.
Okay. Zuki, you notice in the picture that there's a sign in the background, but it happens to just be like from where you're standing, the angle that he's holding the picture at, it looks like one of the letters in the sign is circled with something, but it's not like with pen or with ink. It's just whatever was used to make the marking. it's because of the angle and the light not reflecting off of the gloss of the photo. You just happen to catch that letter.
So the photograph is circled, or the sign?
A single
Itself was
a
circled,
single
or
letter
something.
on a single letter on the sign is circled.
Okay, so it's somebody circled it on the physical photograph. It wasn't circled when somebody took the picture. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Okay. All
You
right.
basically
so-
noticed a foreign substance on the surface of the photo.
Okay. Right. What's that?
What's what?
The circles. Somebody circled the letter.
And she points to a letter A on a sign in the background. And now that she points at it, you realize she's right. Someone marked this with something that would not be immediately detectable.
I sober up immediately. I run over to the table. I shove everything off of the table, turn on the lights, and start spreading out the photos. And grab a magnifying glass from inside the drawer, and grab a piece of paper and start looking for other letters that may be circled in other photographs.
And with everybody, I would imagine, do you call the rest of them over to help, or do
Yes.
you just? Okay.
Yes. I actually I don't, but I just let them. Like I don't say anything. I'm somewhat in a frenzy as I start.
So you guys just see him clear the table, like he just starts shoving things on the floor, and he spreads these 7 photos out, and so you can see. Who goes over? Anyone?
I'd be over there in a heartbeat.
Yeah, Keel would as well.
Okay.
So Zephyr, he's actually eating pizza while he's doing this, but he's walking over and looking over under people's shoulders, I guess.
As you guys kind of crowd around the table, you're noticing these 7 photos were definitely taken different times, different places. But as you guys start looking, now that you know what you're looking for, it's easy to find the letters that are circled.
What are they?
Well, I also want. I was trying to decide. Keel and Zuki also give me an insight check.
Can I touch and give them a little bit of guidance? Put my hand on his shoulder and give him a little guidance.
Sure.
That's the cantrip.
That was a 16.
16?
For Reggie.
It's a 19 on an investigation.
Okay, Zuki and
Or
Keel,
insight.
you've both dealt with shady individuals enough, and like tried to avoid being seen, tried to avoid people, to realize that this series of photos is definitely a surveillance series, and it's intended to convey the message. You know, these aren't just hey, here's some pictures of your kid. This is, hey, we're watching. We've seen, we're following your kid. We're kind of like we're stalking him, kind of a thing.
Is the son in every picture?
Yes, both men are in every picture. The man and the boy are in every picture, and it's definitely clear to the two of you that this was intended to send a message to Reg.
Keel's going to keep that to himself.
Okay.
Reggie, how long ago were these pictures taken?
I don't know. When I was cleaning the apartment earlier, and they were in a manila envelope.
Well,
Is there
no,
anything else in the...
is this your son now? Like, were these 2 photos taken recently?
I don't know.
You think
It's been a...
whether you want to share it or not, you think
Yeah.
this is probably fairly recent?
I haven't seen him for quite some time, but yes, if I had to guess, I would say these are recent. But there's no way of me to know. So, what are the letters that we've discovered in the photos?
You find an A, an E, an R, a C, a T, a U, a P, another R, an I, an O, an M, and a V. Some pictures have more than one letter.
I'm going to repeat them back to you to make sure I have them all.
Okay.
ARTUPRIOMV.
There's missing ones. AERC, correct?
Okay, hang on. Let me. I was crossing them off as he said them, so let me write again and get your list because he definitely was missing some. Okay, go ahead, Zook.
Okay, AERC
Yep. Yep.
T
Yep.
U
Yep.
P
Mhm.
R
Yep.
I O M V.
Yes.
All right.
Should be a total of 12 letters. I will put them into the chat so that our friends at home can play along. Might be a slightly different order because I don't remember what order I gave them to you in. Unless, Zuki, do you want to just read them off again?
Yes. Do you want me to type? I can type them in.
Well, no, because you can be figuring it out. If you just read it off, I'll type it into the
Okay.
Discord.
A E R C T U P R I O M V.
All right, it's a race. Can the players or the people at home solve it first? Discord chat? Twitch chat? Go to it. Oh, and Wolf also put him in there. Thank you, Wolf.
No worries.
I will say this. I wrote in tandem with Zuki a short story about how they first met, fighting a werewolf. It's a fun little short story. If anybody solves it in the Discord or anyone solves it in the chat, I will send them this little short story.
Oh, there we
as
go.
a little thank you.
Ooh.
A little secret sauce for the folks at home.
Reardon, that was a very good guess.
What? Yeah, Reardon, you solved it. You absolutely solved it. Care Pro Turn Vi. I'm not even sure what that is, but yes. That's absolutely the answer.
He is the smartest of all my friends.
I am so
Is
sorry.
there? Yeah. Is there any order to the pictures at all that can be distinguished?
There aren't enough distinguishing features. There are a couple of things that you can pick up on, timeline-wise, where the outfits are the same in a couple of pictures, so you can say that those were probably taken in the same day, and if you look for context clues, you can see which one was earlier and which one was later in the day, but
Okay.
probably not enough to be sure. And since the letters were circled afterward, you don't know if that necessarily is going to help.
And you said there are 12 letters, correct? Those are 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Yes,
6.
12 letters. And Reardon is on a roll. He now says it's improved Karut. Solved it again. He's got 2 solutions, neither of which are correct, but he has 2. So we've got that going for us out there. Does anybody want to do anything other than stare at the letters?
I will. Yeah, so while other people are trying to figure this out, I will sort of. Yeah, what time of night is it? Because we stayed up a little bit, and it's
It's
11?
probably around like it's after midnight at this point.
After midnight at this point. All right, I want to go look at the Manila envelope
Okay.
and make sure I didn't miss any sort of note or anything on it. And is the you said there was my name written on it, right?
Yes.
Is it typed or is it handwritten?
It is handwritten.
All right. Can I do, I don't know, handwriting analysis? Can I take a picture of it? Can I take a picture of it so I have a comparison?
Sure.
Is it flowy script?
It looks like it was probably written by a fountain pen, very flowy, almost calligraphy type script.
All right. All right. Anything else in the envelope?
No, there is not.
All right.
Clearly, whoever gave this to you expected you to get the message without having to have any additional words.
Yes. Well, I don't know if it would help to speak out if you have certain things. I've discovered that the word private is part of these letters. I don't know if that helps any of you at all. I don't know if you've discovered certain words or if this is even a cipher of some sort.
How many total pictures were there again? Is it
There were
total
seven pictures, 12 letters.
Okay.
No
What
more
letters?
than no more than 2 letters per picture.
Okay. This might be overthinking it, but on the letters that have 2 pictures, what are those 2 letters paired together?
Let's see. The M and the C are on the same picture. The V and the U. The R and the T. The A and the O. And
Guys, Vampire Court is in there. Would that mean anything to you, Reggie? Vampire Court?
I don't believe so. Do I?
Yeah, that's the one of the vampire guilds in Boston.
Is Vampire Court?
The Vampire Court, fairly nasty group of guys. They were represented at the Plastered Dragon the other night.
Well, shit. We didn't have enough on our plate that we now have to worry about this. Understood.
Is there any way to ascertain if that's actually it or if we need to keep looking?
No, I think that's it.
Well played.
Nicely done.
I think it's something that they would do. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. All right. Well,
With that information, did you want to look at the pictures again?
I did. Yes. Yes, I want to look at the pictures again. And knowing that, do I notice anyone in the pictures who does not have a reflection?
You know, funny thing, you do. Like, you look and you see the guy in the ice cream truck, and you can look and you see like the windshield of a car nearby. You see the ice cream truck reflected, but he is not reflected. And you see similar things in a couple of other pictures. Give me an investigation check.
$17.
In fact, in every single picture, there is at least one person who does not have a reflection.
All right. Yeah, I point this out to everyone in the photos. I point this out to everyone in the room. If you look, and I point out specific instances. And has anyone here had experiences with vampires or undead of this magnitude?
I mean, a couple of hunts, but nothing huge.
Yeah. This is bad because in the bigger cities they tend to organize, and the Vampire Court is one of the predominant courts.
So the Twilight books are real?
No, no, no. It's God. I wish I wouldn't kill for sparkles to be the only thing we have to worry about, and emo teen angst. No.
Zuki, you remember when you were on the tee with your new buddy that one of the reasons why he was following you was to find out whether or not you were working with the vampires.
Oh, that's right. The werewolf guy, right?
Yep.
Team Werewolf.
Okay, I share that with them. The werewolf. Remember the werewolf that I charmed on the subway train?
Yes.
He asked if I was working with the vampires. I mean, I didn't ask a lot more at the time because, I mean,
And if we remember correctly, at the bar that evening, there was a contingency of werewolves and there was a contingency of vampires, and they almost got into a brawl. Correct? Like I'm harkening back to,
yes,
to
you
the
are
different
correct.
players. All right.
Before the bar blew up,
All right.
there was a lot of posturing between the vampires and the werewolves inside the tavern, as much as could be gotten away with the wards that were in place.
All right. So this is me hypothesizing. I think that the vampires are running scared, and the werewolves and the vampires are trying to figure out what happened at the bar just as much as we are. Reginald takes a painting off of the wall, some obscure painting, and he doesn't have a whiteboard, and he takes out a permanent marker and starts writing down names and writing down the Southie Guild, Northie Guild, the Summer Court, the Winter Court, people that they've interacted with. He writes the werewolves on a part of the wall and starts writes down the Assassins Guild that we also discovered. He
Crimson Blade.
He's the Crimson Blade. He does a circle and does the draws a picture of the amulet without drawing the symbol that he saw in the amulet itself.
There's also the Court of Shadows, which nobody from the Court of Shadows was dead, but you did have a run-in with someone from the Court of Shadows, if you remember.
That's right, and Nicholas, you were there for that.
Yep. We're just writing down every name we've ever heard.
Basically, that we've interacted with in the past few hours. I put down the witches, warning us of something wicked coming. I write down the spectral dog, and I'm starting to try to piece together the different players in this game.
What about the bird with the glowing red eyes?
The bird, as well. Does anybody else remember anything that we should write down? Even the smallest detail.
Everybody's heard about the bird.
Right.
Well, in the bar before it exploded, there was a small group of vampires. They all seemed to be female. Then I think they got up and left before everything happened, if I remember correctly.
You do remember
That's a start. The dead bodies in the room that seemingly died of heart attacks. Right, that we believe to channel a spell that had no identification on them but the tattoos.
Well, and the weird necklace.
Yes, we have the amulets as well that seem to frighten the fairy world and what we believe to be outsiders coming into this realm and being enough to scare a noble in the fairy court. I am sorry. I don't feel like the vampires have any sort of, for lack of a better word, stake in this, but we need to eliminate them. We need to eliminate them. There are two things that draw me to do that, and it's one is that they left right before the explosion took place, and two,
Does it probably look better in the light of day?
They threatened my son.
Well, and who's to say that it's connected? I mean, you've probably pissed off a lot of people over the years, and yes, the fairy court is somehow connected to this in some way, but then Summer or Winter's interest in me may have nothing to do with the bar exploding, it could have to do with my own personal history. And so maybe the vampires aren't connected to this directly. Maybe they're connected to your history.
It's possible.
Where's your son located now? Is he still back in England, or?
He's still in. I look at the photos. Where are they? Where were they taken?
These photos were taken in England.
Yeah, he's still in England, as far as I know. But this is a message. This is a effed up friend request. The worst kind of them wanting to meet and saying if we don't meet, something bad will happen.
Well,
So
listen, if it's your son, you know we're all in, and we should probably get there as quickly as possible for your son's sake.
I know, but I would rather be alive and have information
Did you order
than
the extra garlic on the pizza?
I'm going to now. Yes, tomorrow I will reach out to Sam and see if he has any connections, or I know a couple of people that work in the shadier parts of the city that might be able to organize, and there's a good chance that they're waiting for my call. Vampires are bad news. A lot of the TV and movies and books that you've read, they are, some have a grain in truth. Fire works really well. Ripping the head off works extremely well.
That works for most things, honestly.
Yes, the stake through the heart is kind of a misnomer, because what creature isn't going to die if you shove something through its heart? But yes, holy water. Any of you that are on the side of right, Keel, I'm looking at you.
Keel's already rummaging through his pack, just taking inventory of what he's got.
We will stop at a friend's tomorrow morning and stock up on a few supplies. I think I know the perfect person. He's a little eccentric, but I think you will all appreciate what he brings to the table. We'll stock up, and then let's make this a priority. However, if you need to leave Zuki at any point to pursue a lead on your family, we can make that a priority as well.
Thank you.
Yes, what a weird night. Thank you for the singing. I hope we'll have to do this again sometime. Just none of the emotional baggage associated with it. But just the pizza and whiskey and singing part. I can get behind that, and I'm starting to understand why people do this. So, Reggie gathers up all the photos and puts them back in the envelope and puts them in the kitchen drawer, and he walks over to Nick and gives him the most awkward, tried to hug him like Nick did, and just he messes it up completely. He doesn't get it and says, all right.
Leave the hugs to the professionals.
Yeah, no, that's true. All right, good night, everyone.
What it lacks in technique, it makes up for in heart.
Yeah, and he
It turns into like a weird patting kind of thing.
It turns into a patting, and he shakes Zephyr's hand, and he claps. He claps Keel on the shoulder, and he goes over to Zuki, and he gives her an awkward hug as well, and he pulls away, and he says, "The first time I met you, I didn't tell you this, but you looked a lot like someone from my past, and I think that's what drove me to help you. So maybe everyone here in this room is looking for something, and maybe that's why we all found each other. We're all looking for something that we've lost."
Sorry.
We'll find it. I'm glad you didn't. Ugh, this is gross. I hate this. I hate all of the mushy. I'm going to bed. Yeah. Good night. And he goes to rest.
Okay. Everybody else?
Yeah.
I snag another piece of pineapple pizza on the way and bring it to Zuzu and go to bed.
Okay.
So yeah, and he's knowing that he's going to be upset that I'm eating pineapple pizza in his bed.
Is it the pineapple or the bed?
I think it's the
Okay.
fact.
Eating food in his bed.
Pineapple should not be on pizza, all right? That's the first abomination right there. The second abomination is she's eating it in my bed. Those are the thread count on those sheets. No, I'm going to bed. I'm going to bed.
And as you drift
We're
off
fine.
to sleep, you realize she didn't take a shower. You forgot to tell her, and so she didn't
Alright.
feel obligated
No.
to do so.
That's my final thought as I drift.
It is. It is. Anybody else doing anything before you turn in? I'm going to assume this is another sleeping in kind of morning as well.
Yes.
Oh, it's morning already.
No, not yet. I'm just saying that you're going to drift off to sleep. Zuki, give me a perception at disadvantage.
Oh, disadvantage. Oh, that would be a 10.
A 10. Okay. You climb into bed. It's been a bit exhausting. You drift off to sleep. You guys start to stir around maybe 10 or so in the morning. 10,
I thought you said it was
10:30.
going to be a late morning.
I meant for everybody else, Zephyr.
Wow.
I did not mean for you. Okay, Zuki, give me another perception check as you wake up.
Okay. At disadvantage or just regular?
Just regular.
That's better. 21.
Like as you're like, you wake up, you're all tangled in blankets and pillows. You're not the most restful sleeper, especially when you're sleeping in something as comfortable as a bed with these, 1,200 thread count sheets or 1,800 or whatever it is, the Egyptian cotton that Reggie has. It's given your normal circumstances, this is actually fairly strange for you. So you kind of thrashed and tossed and turned, and when you wake up in the morning, there's a folded piece of parchment in the bed with you.
Ooh. I open up the piece of parchment.
Okay. It's a note.
I read the note.
Well, I'm trying to. How old were you when you went to live with Grandma full time? It was like what, 6
Oh, gosh.
or so? Or
Yeah, I
was
was
it younger?
about 6, but it was Mom and Grandma and I, and then Mom left when I was about... Oh, sorry, Mom left when I was 6. We went together to live. Mom left when I was 6. Grandma died when I was about 8, and that's when I went into foster care.
Okay, go ahead. Just give me an insight check.
All right. That is a nat 1.
That is a nat one. Okay.
Ooh,
I
paper.
mean, you can read.
Bring it to Reggie.
You can read the note. But you don't recognize anything in particular about the note. It says, "We've been apart far too long. I miss you terribly. Hopefully, I will find a way for us to be together again." And then there's just a little heart and an M.
I wrote it.
I run the note out to Rick.
Okay, and Nicholas, by the way, you had a very restless night of sleep. You don't have any exhaustion or anything. You do get the benefits of a long rest, but you are feeling a bit more tired than usual. And within your dreams, you encountered a lot of winter imagery, shall we say. you saw storms, sleet. At one point, you were being torn apart by winter wolves. Just very troubling winter imagery.
Damn pineapple.
Yes, that's exactly.
I get
what it
points
was.
for the spit take, right?
Yes.
I think yes, you do. All right, so Zuki brings you the letter.
Me.
No, Reggie.
I ran it to Reggie. Reggie, I found this when I woke up.
Yes, because apparently I'm running a freaking bread and breakfast, and anyone can just walk in the door because locks don't mean anything to anyone anymore. Come on in, vagrants. Leave envelopes and paper and pineapple pizza. I'm sorry, I drank a lot. Yeah, let me look at it. You want me to look at it?
Yeah.
All right, I look at it. Can I do an insight check on it? Will
Yes,
that
you
help
can.
an investigation?
You could do an insight. You could do an investigation.
Insight, we'll go with that because it's 24.
Okay. This is definitely a handwritten note. And
This is a handwritten note.
it looks like it was the
Who's the-
writer was definitely writing with a sense of familiarity.
The writer was writing with a definite sense of familiarity.
Just gonna repeat everything I say, aren't you?
Wait, there's a little more.
Or is
I'm
there?
getting a sense.
The script seems feminine.
Definitely a feminine lilt to the script.
Reggie wrote it.
I do have lovely handwriting, and the hearts right at the end, those look like mine, but no. A female wrote this. Do you know who wrote it?
Well, it says M.
Do you have any women in your life with the letter M that you want to speak of?
Oh, I don't know. Possibly my mom, but she left when I was 6. So,
What,
and
do
I
you,
haven't heard from her, and for all I knew, she was dead. So,
what was your mother's name, Suki?
I have to remember this. Crud. I would know this immediately.
You would know it
However,
immediately.
I can't remember this.
M for mother. Yes, no, this is her.
I tell him, and then I fill in the information after I look it up because I can't remember off the top of my head.
That'll be fine.
You obviously look overtaken with emotion right now, Zuki.
I'm so overtaken I can barely get her name out.
Take your time and let's head away. Brian, this morning, because I want you to have a chance to do this, I want to take us all to you know how everyone has a guy? I have a weird guy that in terms of supplies for fighting monsters.
Yes, you do.
I do, and I would like to take the gang to visit him this morning so we can stock up on
You're going to
some
go to
supplies.
Kendrick the Grey?
I'm going to Kendrick the Grey's establishment with everyone, and I turn to them and I say, "Now listen, like I said, he's eccentric, and I you know what? I was going to warn you. Instead, I'm just going to let you experience Kendrick for yourselves. Just be respectful, no matter what you hear or see. All right."
Does this Kendrick have any occult books that I can research?
Maybe. If anyone in the city would have, he might. I'm not sure. His stock changes based on whatever he feels like that day.
We're off to see the Kendrick.
Yes, the wonderful Kendrick of Boston.
Well, is there any
Kendrick the Grey.
pizza left over?
Yes,
Jennifer
there
loves
is.
cold pizza, and so he's grabbing a couple slices before they head out.
Is it better cold?
Oh yeah.
Reginald has a slice of cold pizza.
It is better.
Welcome to the magic of pizza.
This is good. Why don't we just order it cold next time?
Look that way.
Doesn't work that way.
Oh,
Mom's name, by the way, was Kaida Sullivan. She's granddad was Japanese, mom was American, so she was half Japanese. So in Japanese, it means little dragon.
all right.
And then,
All right.
so that's mom's name. Not that it's relevant, but just in case it's relevant.
No, that's fine. I'm so glad that you have figured out a way to calm yourself down after that outburst of emotion that you had earlier.
So,
It
Reg,
was terrible.
you know that you need to chart a course for Hanover Street in Boston to a coffee shop called The Thinking
Right.
Cup.
All right. So we head over to the Thinking Cup. I'm sure it's a ways away. We can take public transit.
Yes, you can.
It's 10 o'clock, so we're sort of skipping major rush hour, early morning sort of commute.
Yes.
But we take public transit and just sort of walk and talk, and I'm trying to picture the writing that we had on the wall at the house and trying to draw lines and connections
Okay.
to several places.
Hey, Reg, I need to make a couple calls to get some my next shifts covered at the hospital.
Oh, yes, God, people have lives and jobs other than this. Yes, if you can, we understand that work is necessary, but please, yeah.
And you can
Call
do that.
away.
You can do that from the train.
Okay, cool.
All right. So you guys ride the train. You head into Boston. You're down kind of toward the waterfront. Hanover Street. There's a nice little coffee shop there called The Thinking Cup. Do you guys grab any pastries, breakfast, coffee, or you had cold pizza for breakfast? That's right. So you guys are probably
Pizza
not all
is good for me. Yeah.
Hey, I'll still try to talk Reggie into getting me something sugary, like
Okay.
pastry, like with jelly.
I acquiesce begrudgingly and with great British aplomb.
And coffee with lots of sugar.
Yes, why don't you just have... All of the drinks you get are not really coffee, they're mostly sugar. Why don't you just get a cup of sugar? And
Well, because there's the caffeine in the coffee.
yes, give her the sugar cup of coffee, the thing that you Americans call coffee. Do you have tea here? Do you have a cup of tea? What kind of tea?
Yes, of course we have tea. What do you take us for?
What sort of teas do you have?
It's all in the harbor, Reggie.
Wow. You are kind of close to the Boston Harbor there, it's true. But, no,
Reggie looks over at Keel and says, "It still hurts."
he says, we've got pretty much any kind of tea you want. We've got Earl Grey, we've got oolong.
I'll take an Earl Grey hot.
Didn't see
Try
that
it
coming.
cold.
He says, and then he looks at you pointedly and says, "How many cubes of sugar, sir?" Which you recall is,
Code.
yes.
And I say 3.5, but I have to drive later.
He says, "Yes, of course. Milk?"
Only from the best cows.
And he makes a cup of tea, hands it to you on a fine china saucer, and there's a key sitting on the saucer.
Thank you.
He nods. And
And-
Zuki, you notice that in spite of the fact that you get this big pastry and a cup of coffee, he didn't ask Reginald for any money.
Do I see the key on the plate?
Probably.
Okay. I'm not going to ask him about it in front of the guy, but I'm going to ask him about it later.
Okay.
I did a favor for them a while ago. They had a couple of goblins that were sneaking into the place and eating up all the old pastries every morning, and I spent the night here. It's all right. And anytime I'm around, they always treat me nice. Okay, like I said, please, all of you, be on your best behavior. We're going to head to the back of the store.
And
And
Reg takes you to the back of the store. behind a curtain that says "Employees Only," and you walk behind the curtain and into a hallway, and he pulls what looks like just like a tarp hanging up against the wall, presumably because they're doing some painting or something back here, and there's an ornate keyhole behind it.
I put the key in the lock and turn it.
And you turn it, and the key disappears, as does the door. And there's a set of stairs going down.
And he leads the way.
Fancy.
And as you guys head down the stairs into a fairly darkened room, you hear the sounds of metal being flung about, as if someone is looking for something and they've lost it in a pile of pots and pans, possibly. And they're
Where
just
are you
flinging every single pot and pan until they get to the right one.
Where are you taking us?
I'm taking you. I'm taking you over the rainbow, Dorothy. It's time to broaden your horizons a little bit.
As you get closer to the bottom of the stairs, you clang, ding, not the door. How dare!
Hello, Gray. Put down what you're working on. I've brought company.
Who dare? Oh,
it's- It's Reginald. Reginald Thomas Kincaid.
Reginald. Oh, Reginald. Oh.
Yes, it's me, and I brought some bread.
Wait. He slowly turns around, and you see a man, maybe, well, you think it's a man, you're not sure. He's very scrawny, and he's wearing a latex mask of what you would imagine like maybe a child's Halloween costume of a goblin might look like. And it's like one of those full Halloween latex masks. So there's like just like a little slit for the mouth. So when he moves his mouth and he talks, the whole thing just kind of scrunches up and down and just looks really bizarre. He says, "Reginald,
Yes.
don't you owe me money?"
What? No, that doesn't sound like me. I thought we were all
Are you
square.
Are you sure?
I'm almost positive.
Oh.
I did bring you a cup of tea, though.
Oh, that must be what
Just
it
the
was.
way you like it.
Maybe you owed
Yes.
me a cup of tea. Yes.
I think that was it. Sugar, milk.
Yes. Bring me the tea. Give me the tea.
Yes. And Reginald walks over and brings the tea.
And he pulls the latex mask off to drink the tea, and the face underneath looks exactly the same as the mask. And that is where we're going to take our break.
I love him so much.
Ladies and gentlemen in the audience, hang tight. We're going to go away and just grab a drink for ourselves and hit the bathroom. We will see you in 5 minutes. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. I hope you had as nice of a break as we did. When we last left our heroes mere moments ago, they had discovered the horrible secret of Kendrick the Grey, and that is that he looks the same under the mask. It's not really that horrible of a secret, it's just a little bit weird. But goblins are typically green-skinned, and you know where Kendrick gets his name because he is a rare gray-skinned goblin. You're not experts on goblins, so you're not sure where he rates in goblin attractiveness, but by any of your measures of attractiveness, is not that great. He's got a little drool problem going on. His hair is kind of greasy and matted down. Hygiene does not seem like it is a priority to Kendrick.
Kendrick, hello.
Yes, Reginald, hello. He slurps the tea.
Yeah. Kendrick, we've actually come because we are
You
going up
need
against
something. You always need something, see? Whenever you come to me, it's Kendrick this and Kendrick that, and Kendrick, can I please have a bomb? And Kendrick, please give me a fancy arrow for my crossbow that talks to people. Blah, blah, blah.
yes,
Bomb?
it was one time, and to be fair, they deserved it. It's
Good
another
bomb,
story.
though. Good bomb.
It was a great bomb. It was better than The Mask 2, that horrible movie. It was that good of a bomb. But we've actually come to you, Kendrick, because we're going up against some unsavory types, and you are the best of the best. And I only...
Flattery. You must want something good.
I
Kendrick closed
do.
up early today.
What do you have for a group of adventurers going up against some vampires?
His eyes go kind of wide. He says, "You mean beside the body bag?"
Yes, Kendrick.
Oh.
Your sense of humor still intact. Wonderful.
It's all because of the clean living. He takes
Yes,
he
well,
takes a final slurp of the tea and places the cup on his workbench. So, you want to face the living dead?
Yes, Kendrick.
Can we deface them?
With his help, possibly.
I think that is the idea. Give me a minute here. And he goes to a corner of the workshop and starts flinging things. And he flings all of them in the direction of his workshop, crushing the porcelain cup that he just carefully put on the workbench. You watch it just shatter and little bits go everywhere. And Reginald, even knowing him as long as you have, you can't be sure whether that was on purpose or not.
Yeah.
And he rummages and he comes out from the bottom of a pile and he's holding 3 softball-sized balls. But it's in both of his hands because they're goblin hands, so they're not very big. But he's like holding them up like this. He says, "This is what you want."
And what are they, Kendrick?
I am surrounded by amateurs. He says, look, Reginald, look closely. And he holds it right up to his
Investigation,
face. Okay, go ahead.
Ooh. 24.
24. You've never seen one of these, but you've heard of them. You see a crystal inside that it looks like it's fairly fragile crystal inside a larger ball that has on 6 points there are glass circles in it that look like they are much sturdier, and it looks like if you were to throw it and shatter it, what was inside would rupture and light would burst forth through each of the 6 faces on the sphere.
Kendrick, you sneaky devil. Did you find a way to concentrate daylight into a ball?
Well, you said undead, you said vampire, right? Right?
Yes, right.
Vampire,
No,
daylight, vampire, daylight.
Vampire Daylight. Yes, yes, you are correct. This is bloody gorgeous, Kendrick.
Oh, I'm not giving you a
yes.
discount.
No, I thought as much.
But
But
your words are
what if-
very kind.
what if we could bring you? Oh, no, that's a little gross. Just the sounds. It's an
I'm
oddity.
sorry. Where are my manners? Are you hungry? I have
No,
pastry.
I'm never.
I have cinnamon rolls.
No,
They've only
I'm
been
never
down
going to
here.
eat again.
The cinnamon rolls no more than 8 days old, I think. I don't have a fridge
yes,
down here, but they're all right there on the workbench. It's no trouble. I just reach over. And he's like starts reaching his hand over. He's like feeling around. And so, oh, here we go. He like grabs the cinnamon roll. It's a little bit green. You want? No charge.
No, I'm on Atkins. Nope, we're fine. Atkins diet. Love it. Keto all the way.
He's like holding it out to the rest of you.
Oh, I'm happily munching on the fresh croissant like thing that I'm eating. The noises.
I
don't
just
bother
pretend
me,
that I
but
don't
they-
even
yeah.
notice he's offering it.
He says, "You're not hungry? You're so skinny. You need to eat something here."
Come on, Zephyr, you know you want it.
And he's like holding it in your face now because
Oh, it's too kind, but no.
all right, more for Kendrick. Hum, nom, 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 nom. And he just starts going to town on this cinnamon roll. It's almost Cookie Monster style. There's crumbs going everywhere.
I take out my inhaler and take a couple quick puffs. And
Kendrick, you are a genius as always. If we find anything particularly shiny or fun, this vampire nest, we will bring it back to you.
And I'm going to have to ring this on your tab again, aren't I?
Yes, but you know I'm good for it. Come
Says
on.
who? Since when?
Well, says Zuki, right? Zuki, I'm good for it.
Absolutely. Yes. Yes, he's good for it.
See?
And when was the last time he gave you money?
He gave me pizza, and that's better.
Why you never give me pizza?
The next time I come, I'm going to bring pizza, and I'm going to bring you cold pizza. It's a business I'm thinking of starting, where someone orders pizza, and I just bring it to them, and it's already cold, because it's better cold.
Would we have any money on us? Like, how
Yeah.
much?
I mean, you guys have a little bit of spending money on you, but magic items kind of this nature probably a little bit higher on the price range.
Perfect. Since I don't know how much this is worth, I'm gonna take out like a 20 and like, huh? Huh?
Reg,
Right there.
do
Right?
you-
I'm
do
gonna
you-
like stick it out.
Do
like,
you
like,
intervene,
oh,
Reg?
For comedic purposes, no. I just let Nicholas hold out the...
I'm at a little 20-20 swim right there. Yeah.
What do you-
He holds out his hand
what do you-
and he takes the 20. He looks at it and he says, "What this for?"
Oh, you know, put it on his tab, a little extra, you know.
Oh,
Yeah,
you're
me-
paying off some of his debt.
Yeah. See, you got money.
Crinkle, crinkle, crinkle. He blows his nose on it, throws it over his shoulder.
You know, I've got tissues if you need one. So that was a 20. It's, you know.
Yes, I am familiar with the concept of money. You may not know this. I run a business. I sell things. And do you know what I sell them for?
I would assume money.
Oh, he's a smart one. Oh, yes, it's not for my health. Look at me. Do I look healthy?
I can barter for some help for you.
That wasn't the... I said, do I look healthy?
Not really. That's why I'm offering my
That's insulting.
services.
I am in great health for a goblin. How do you... Oh, your friend is a racist.
No, he's not racist.
Hug?
Kendrick, no.
Hug?
He starts trying to bare his teeth. He's still he's like 3 feet tall. He's like as scrawny as Zephyr, so it's not intimidating even a little bit. But he's like,
All right, I'm going to go. Bad, Nicholas. Stop being racist.
What?
Not racist. It's all right. I'm going to take him out of here, and I'm going to chastise him. But Kendrick, we will see you very soon, I'm sure.
All right.
Because there's not that many NPCs that we like, and you're one of them. So we're coming back.
I do not know what this word mean, but I do hope you come
nice
back.
person. Nice person.
And the sea,
Cool.
nice person,
Nice
cool.
person, cool.
Right, can I get that 20 back? It's right there behind you.
Oh, sure. He walks over, and it's like it's damp, and he like just kind of holds it out to you.
Thanks.
You put a goblin snot $20 bill in your pocket.
I've seen worse. Well, maybe, as far as I'm concerned. I've
Well,
seen
you know,
worse.
actually, you're a nurse, so yeah, this probably doesn't bother you nearly as much as it bothers anyone else. He says, "Hey,
It's
Re-
20.
Reggie, I hope you do come back.
Yes.
Owe me a lot of money.
Yeah.
Also, I care about you, but mostly the money."
Thank you, Kendrick. I am beyond appreciative, and I hope I come back as well.
And trying to give a little high five. Like, hey.
He gives you a high five.
And we back out of the room.
He says, "Don't forget, go out the back way."
Yes, of course, Kendrick. I know better.
And you guys kind of head toward the back of the workshop, and
Can we take a second, though, for Kendrick, guys? Like that one.
Kendrick the Grey, ladies and gentlemen, Kendrick the Grey.
Bow. Bow.
I will
Our
need 3
first
lozenges
series.
later.
Our first series regular. We're going back every other episode.
Fabulous!
No.
Can't wait.
3
Cannot wait.
weeks.
So you go. You kind of pick your way through the debris that is the floor of Kendrick's workshop, and head out a back door, which
Yes.
leads you into an alley behind the coffee shop.
All right. I hand one of the. Actually, yeah, I'm going to hand one of the balls to Zuki and set it in case of emergency. If we get cornered, and I'm going to hand one to Zephyr as well, and one to Nick. Keel, I'm going to trust that because you are the only person I've ever met that looked excited at the prospect of going up against vampires, that you will be able to handle yourself. I've never seen a grown man do a giddy dance at fighting the undead, but yes, I'm going to trust that this is the right decision,
I
and that
think so.
yes, and I would rather make sure. I would rather make sure that the 3 of you are protected.
Reggie, what did you call these again?
Well, the little balls filled with daylight. You know what? We'll call them daymans.
Yes!
And we can,
Are they fighters of the night, man?
yes.
Champions
I
of the
imagine-
sun.
Oh God!
Yes. We will fight the vampires because we are masters of karate
And friendship.
Friendship!
to everyone.
The gang goes to Vampire Court.
Oh, we may have a new title. The gang goes to Vampire Town.
Oh, by the
Oh,
way,
Sunny! Sunny! Never mind, sorry.
I just cut the brakes on a van. Wild card. Reginald, how do we contact the vampires? Can we reach out to I hate to go back to Sam. Do I have a connection to one of the shadier sort of connection types? Do I?
You could probably work some of your contacts to figure out where the vampires might congregate,
Yes.
or Zuki might have a contact as well.
Actually, Zuki. Oh,
Oh! Yeah, I mean, we could head over to where was that place where he was? Oh no, werewolves don't like vampires.
Zuki, so vampires tend to hang out on the outskirts of society. When all of your traveling around the city, I know that you tended to sleep in out of the way places. Did you ever see people that were dressed too nice to be out and about with some of the homeless that you were staying with? I know you used to stay with people that tend to dress a certain way, but did you ever see someone who was out of place based on their clothing?
Let me think about it for just a minute.
Right?
Yes, I did.
Could
Yeah.
you say it but sound like a bald man with glasses?
Nope, because he didn't say anything. He just nodded. Take that.
Let me try to remember where I saw those people.
God damn it.
Hmm.
Really? That's what we're going to do here?
Where did I see those people again?
You vaguely recall seeing them hanging around the park.
Wait for it. I vaguely recall seeing them hanging around the park.
God damn it.
It's my favorite game.
Foiled again.
All right, then I say we wait until nightfall, and then we head to the park. It does leave us a few hours of time, right? Because it's still probably about noon.
Yeah,
Zuki.
it's midday. And Zuki, there are a couple of parks. There's one in particular that was referred to in your backstory, so I don't know whether or not you want to take them to that park. But that is one of the parks.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh, shoot. What was that park called? It was like equivalent of Central Park.
I believe the park was called Cada Sullivan.
No? Oh, thanks. So, yeah, but, yeah, Brian, what's that park called?
What's the park called? Hang on,
Yeah, I
let me
don't
let me find it again for you.
Oh, see, he doesn't
I'll
remember
name it up.
either.
It's called the park.
The park. You know, that park that I just described to you guys, and you all know what it is that I'm talking about?
You mean Olmsted Park?
Because we all...
Oh yeah, Olmsted Park.
That is the park that I'm totally thinking of. And you guys know where that park is.
Yeah, Keel's been there a ton of times.
Yeah.
Well, I have a proposal. We definitely have like 5 or 6 hours before we need to meet up. I want to get there as the sun is setting, and we still have a little bit of time to stake out a safe position. I don't know how anxious you were to go back, but Nicholas and Zuki, if you would like to spend your time with the fairy courts, I could always take Keel and Zephyr, and we could do a little research on this necklace while the two of you are doing that. Or I'm open to any other suggestions.
How do you feel about that? Because...
Oh, I feel...
Nick, no, Nick, how do you feel about that? I mean, I would be okay with that.
Hey, if you're down, I'm down. Knowledge is
have a
power.
plan.
The more you know.
Yes. Yes, and yes.
All right, so you guys are going to head back to the Fey Court
I'm definitely not as excited as she is.
to spend a little bit of time with Lady Guldurak, which, for the folks at home who didn't watch last week, means Unloving Ice Storm. And so you guys are going to... we'll assume that they gave you a way to contact them so that you could do this, because
Yes.
of course they would.
And
And
you can let me know what that way is at some point.
we'll say that you were given a snowflake crystal necklace,
Ooh,
and that
okay.
you hold it and think of the Winter Court when you want to go there.
And click your heels 3 times.
And the magic
not a
was
requirement,
inside
it's
you
just fun.
all the time.
I knew it! It was inside her.
The necklace was, not the magic. They just like jammed it into her chest. It was
Oh.
quite painful.
Oh,
All right, so
and I need a medicine check.
Reginald, Keel, and Zephyr, where are you guys headed?
Where is the best place to investigate something arcane? We could go back to my place if there's a library, if there's an occult, an occultist. You know, if there's a. I don't want you to. You've already given us such a gift with Kendrick. I hate to tax you even further.
I mean, you could find an occult bookshop. You have reference books at home. You have contacts that you could go and reach out to. You also, now, who has the necklace? Because I believe you took a picture of it and gave it to Sam, if I recall.
Oh, yeah. So why don't we go check on Sam to see if he's dug up any information about it?
Okay. So you guys head to Sam.
I thought we had it on us, or at least Reggie had it on him while we visited the Winter Court.
Yes, you did. And
We did. And then when we gave... Sam asked if he could have it to do research on it.
Okay.
And I took a picture on my phone. Can I look at the photo on my phone before
You
we head off
can.
to Sam?
you open up your phone and you turn it on, and you know how when your phone starts, normally you have that lock screen that you have to unlock?
Yes.
You don't have that.
I don't. What do I have instead?
You have an image of the necklace pulsing on your home screen.
That's not a good sign. Can I touch the screen?
Yes, you can.
Does anything happen?
I'll tell you after you give me a Constitution save.
Oh, that is a 14.
A 14. You take 4 points of damage. 3 of it radiant, 1 of it necrotic.
Oh! Oh!
Which is an
What
odd
happened?
combination to happen at the same time.
That shouldn't exist. Ow.
Perception
My
check,
phone.
Reg.
Ooh. 17.
You're not sure if it's your imagination or the pain, but the symbol on your screen is not the same as the symbol when you turned your phone on.
It's changing again.
What happened?
I opened my phone instead of the lock screen. It was an image of that freaking medallion, and when I touched it, I took radiant and necrotic damage, and it hurt like hell. And then I looked, and the symbol on it was different.
Do we recognize these symbols at all? Do they connect to anything we've seen?
They connect to absolutely nothing that you have ever seen before in your life.
I will.
Do they look more elven, or like is there because script has a style to it,
It does, but it doesn't.
and these
look,
don't even have a style that's like.
It doesn't look like any language. It doesn't look like any language you have ever seen. It looks ancient. It almost looks like it predates any language that you may have seen.
All right. Well, don't worry about me. I'm fine. I'm hurting, but I'm fine. Just be on your guard. Start fortifying yourself for the Winter Court. Keel and Zephyr are with me, and you and Nicholas just take care of what you need to take care of, and we'll. How about this? When you get back, we'll meet us at the bar. Meet us at the Plaster Dragon. You know, which is
Okay.
fast becoming a place where everyone should meet up at occasionally. But meet us at the Plaster Dragon, and we will reconvene there. Just Nicholas, Zuki, please be careful. All right.
We will.
Can is it when I touch the screen? Can I pick it up with a napkin or a handkerchief?
You
place
can
it in a
certainly
bag.
try.
I will. Oof a doof. I will try to pick it up, not by the screen, but by the little otter box.
Okay. And you put it in like a bag.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And you close it up. And it is now inside a bag.
Yep. All right. Well,
Duke looks back at him and says, "Hey, if we run into any problems, I'll call you, okay?"
Wow. Oh man.
This episode brought to you by Otterbox.
yeah. Yes.
Last night's episode
Awesome.
was brought to you by Jello. Tonight it's Otterbox. So
That's
many sponsors.
right.
So many sponsors.
If they only knew.
All right. So, are you? What are you doing with this phone in a bag?
Did you ever see that scene in Beverly Hills Cop? Where he's got the little bag in front of him and he's just walking very gingerly?
He both want to put in a tailpipe.
Which way is the phone facing?
Outward? Away from me?
Okay.
Whatever doesn't damage me?
Where's everybody else standing?
Behind him.
Behind me?
Okay. Good. Just
Have we
checking.
gone, or are we still walking with him?
You're still walking with him.
You didn't know
Okay.
now.
I mean, unless you decide not to, you could just.
I'd be curious because this thing has changed already. I'm not standing right in front of the thing, but like
you kind of
up
wander
a bit
around
so
the
that I
edge
can
and you're
keep
like
an
doing
eye
one
on
of
the
these.
symbol. Yeah, because if this symbol is now, this is the third symbol we've seen on the same amulet. I want to see if it's changing.
Perception for me. And how long do you watch it for?
As much as I can. I mean, I'm
Okay.
constantly looking back at. I mean, obviously not
Right.
staring, tripping
Right,
all over
yeah, no,
myself.
I understand.
That was it was only a 12.
Okay. You're watching it. After a minute, it changes again, and you keep watching, and after 2 minutes, it changes again, and then after 3 minutes, it changes again.
After 1 minute, and then 2 minutes, and then 3 minutes.
Yes.
Like each one is a minute apart, or it's 1 minute apart, 2 minutes apart, and then 3 minutes
1
apart.
minute apart, 2 minutes, then 3 minutes.
We note that
And are any of the symbols repeats of symbols that we've seen before, or are they all each one is a brand new symbol?
Not that you can tell. How long do you watch for at this point?
As long as I can. I'm trying to remember these symbols because I want to write them down.
Okay. So 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes, back to 1 minute. But the 1 minute symbol is not the same as the first 1 minute symbol.
And it's not the same as any of the other symbols.
Not so far.
Okay. And then after another, I don't know how long we're walking for, but after another 2 minutes, it changes again.
Yep.
And it's still not a symbol I've seen before.
Nope.
Okay, I convey this information to the others.
Can we all take a minute to appreciate a man holding a bag and a girl walking in front of him studying the phone in the bag while everyone else walks behind him?
Yes. and her like lips moving as it appears she's counting.
Yeah.
And she figures out that it looks like it's a 15-minute cycle. And so you guys walk
All right.
for about a half hour till you get to the bar, and so it's cycled twice by the time you get there.
And the symbols have been different for every single cycle.
Yes.
Understood. All right. Yeah, we go in through the only working door that we're aware of and start calling out for Sam. Sam, are you in?
Oh, yeah, hang on a second. Hang on, I'll be right there. He says, just go on into the bar. I'll meet you.
Okay, we walk into the bar.
All right. The bar looks a bit cleaner. It seems like starting to make some progress with the repairs. In fact, it's only been a day. Now that you think about it, the amount of repair work that's been done is quite remarkable for only a day.
Well, it's amazing what people can do with only a few hours and limited amount of time. I mean, there's a lot that you can do to build up the Plaster Dragon.
Yes, in a few hours of limited time.
Yeah.
That's right. Well, when you have a committed, dedicated, skilled, and resourceful team, the kind of things you can accomplish, the sky's the limit, really.
Is it though? Is it?
It is. When you have a skilled bartender, anything is possible. Right, Firehawk?
Ha
So you guys enter the bar, and about 3 minutes or so later, Sam comes in from the kitchen. You don't recall seeing him in the kitchen.
Oh,
Because
hey,
you guys came
hello.
in through there.
Yeah,
Oh.
Sam, were you just in the kitchen?
I was in the storeroom in the back, but yeah.
Oh, all right. That's a nifty trick. You'll have to teach me that. Any luck with the amulet? We are running into more and more problems every day. I'm hoping that you at least have some answers.
Nothing yet, but got some good people working on it.
You do.
He kind of pauses on the word people a little bit.
Insight check,
Sure.
22.
They're probably not human.
Oh, okay. All right. Then I did happen to take a picture on my phone, and when I touched the screen, it shocked me. It caused damage to me. Like, is that
When you say
to be expected?
shocked, you mean like electrical damage?
No, it felt like there's no other way. Holy damage, and then dark energy damage, simultaneous.
That's not.
Have you ever heard of anything like this?
Only in really rare cases. I mean, maybe something like a fallen paladin, or I suppose
Right.
an ascended devil. I mean, I suppose it could go the other way. Why assume the worst? Something evil turns
Yes,
over a new
understood.
leaf. It's got access to different energies.
Sure. Yes. Yeah. Of course. All right. Should I just buy a new phone?
Let me look at that.
Yeah. I hand him the phone.
He like grabs the bag, lays it on the table, looks at it for a couple minutes. Yeah, that's never going to work again.
Awesome. Yes.
I really hope
Well,
you backed up to the cloud, because if you had anything on there that you needed,
this will be yet another infuriating conversation with my cell phone provider, trying to explain that something demonic took over my phone again.
yeah, I don't see
So-
them believing that.
So Keel didn't get a very good look at the phone.
Okay.
Is there any chance that he might be able to read it? He speaks both Celestial and Infernal.
Oh yeah, you can take a look.
I'd like to attempt to read
Okay,
it.
go ahead. Give me an insight check. I know we're doing a lot of insight tonight, but
We haven't had much of it.
There's a natural 20.
Oh.
You
We
can-
needed
In
that.
my face.
You can't read it, but as you're studying it and watching it change, you're realizing that there are languages that are older than Infernal, than Celestial, and this looks like whatever language those languages came from.
Oh God.
And I'll share that with the group for sure.
Sam's eyebrows kind of go up.
This is old.
You're saying like something primal, like dawn of creation stuff. That's what you're talking about.
Wow. Wow. I've never encountered anything like this. This would also explain why the fairy court was terrified of this thing.
Makes
talking-
sense.
Beginning of the universe.
Also, it gives me some thoughts about what that metal might be.
What do you think it might be?
Well, couldn't have come from any plane. Only leaves one other option.
Which is
Detroit?
Yes, Detroit. That is exactly the
I
answer.
knew it!
He
This place
says-
is all kinds of evil.
He says, if it can't come from any of the planes, the only thing left is the space between them.
the space between the planes.
No, the space between us.
Yes, the space between the planes.
Sounds like a John Mayer album.
If you say so.
All right. Do you have any books or information dating that back? Theories?
I mean, if you want to
anything that
talk
talks
about planar cosmology and stuff,
Yeah.
I mean, no one's actually been there, but the planes don't physically touch each other. They can't. Because they're
Right.
constantly moving. If they touched each other, there would be great damage anytime anything shifted. There would be death, there would be destruction. There would be invasion between certain planes, but beings can't get from one plane to the other plane too easily. And with the exception of the Feywild and maybe some of the elemental planes, because they're so close to ours, you just cannot easily get to another plane. It requires a great deal of power. And that's because you have to push your way through the things in between.
Well, when we visited the Italians, they showed you that rock, right, Reginald?
Yeah. And they mentioned that there had been some breaches from outside, from different planes, and we thought that dog might be something from a different plane, but
That's
what if it's
troubling.
not? What if it's from the in-between?
Being of pure energy. Some planes float through the positive energy, some planes float through the negative energy. Or so the story goes.
So why is that connected to the bar? What is happening to cause... How did this medallion get here?
If I had to guess, I'd say it was probably on the guy that did the explosion. Zuki, you said you found it over there in that corner, right?
Yes.
That's flung pretty far from where the body was. There was no impact or anything on the other guys, the ones at the points of the pentagram. They just dropped dead.
So was this the target?
Was what the target?
Whatever was wearing this medallion? Or was this the focal point for the spell?
My guess is focal point.
They were centering their energy on this.
This is so
Wow.
old, this is so ancient, it could have gotten past the wards. Don't have any spells
Yes,
for
because
anything like this.
You wouldn't have had a way to detect it. It's other. It's different. It's negative. It's all right. So we have the weapon, and that's wonderful. It's terrifying, but it's wonderful. We have the murder weapon. We have the focal point. We're starting to get answers, and we just we need more.
Well, if we've got the murder weapon and the focal point, that means we've got a target painted on our backs.
It does.
And that's why I'm holding on to the weapon.
And Sam, you need to be careful, because if someone finds out that you have it, I mean, the target goes right onto you.
Does,
Do you want us to take it back?
I got plenty of targets on me already. You think I don't have targets on me owning this bar?
does
Well,
the image on the medallion match with the image on your phone, and is it changing at the same time?
You know, that's a good question.
The same symbol?
Let me go get
do
it.
you have it here? Yeah.
he goes into the kitchen. He's gone for about 5 minutes. And he comes back. And pretty stealthily, too, for a big man. And he comes back and he's holding a small box. And he flips the box open, and the medallion is like sitting inside the box on some kind of velvet cloth. And he kind of like opens it up.
Do the symbols match on the phone? Is it a direct reflection?
They do match.
And if we watch it for a few minutes as they change, are they going to continue to match and change at the exact same instant?
Yes.
Or is there a bit of a delay?
No, there is no delay. It's the exact same moment.
Who's got a phone they want to lose?
Well, I mean, I suppose we could just keep this one and
Who wants to try touching this and see if you get the same damage you did as on your phone?
Zephyr, come here.
I ain't touching that. I'm looking towards the kitchen. I think I want
I've got a
another one of those
cookie.
sandwiches.
Keel steps forward, knowing his true heritage, and he'll very gingerly put his hand onto the amulet for just a split second.
Okay. You go. You reach out and you kind of do one of these. You're like, and you tap it and pull your hand back, and nothing happens.
Ooh.
oh, well, that's fair.
Ooh, touch it again.
So after dipping my toe in the water, I'm gonna fully submerge and attempt to grab it.
Okay, so you go. You wrap your hand around it, and nothing happens. What do you do while your hand is wrapped around it? Anything?
I'm just gonna pan the room, look at the group, and just kind of say, hey, nothing's happening.
That's right, because I picked it up too, and it didn't hurt me. And Reggie touched it as well.
Had it in his pocket.
Yeah, but he took it from me in his hand.
What was the rune that was showing at the time you touched it? Do we know?
No.
Or what it looked like?
So go ahead and give me an insight check at disadvantage.
Who? Everyone?
No, Keel. He's scanning the room
Keel.
while clutching the medallion.
Even with advantage, that gives me a total of 17.
Okay. Even with disadvantage, you get a 17. All right. So you look around the room, and for the most part, everybody looks normal to you, but you catch flashes here and there of both shimmering white gossamer threads in the air and shimmering black gossamer threads. And they seem to be attached to different points in the room.
I'm going to immediately look at the phone in another attempt to see if I can read the rune that's being displayed.
Okay. You look at it, you stare at it really, really hard. Give me a wisdom save.
Oof. 5.
So, Keel is staring at the phone, and he's staring at the phone, and it feels like he's staring at the phone for a little bit too long.
I cover the image on the phone.
As you put your hand between his face and the phone, you block the sight line. His head snaps up, and he stares you in the eyes, and you notice one of his eyes is black and one is white. And he says, "We are coming. There is nothing you can do to stop us."
Does this voice sound at all familiar to me?
No. Oh wait.
Okay. All right.
No.
Who
No, it
was
does
here?
No. Okay.
Who are you?
not. We are the beginning, and we shall be the end.
What is it you want?
We are the beginning, and we shall be the end. There is no one. Way to ruin the moment. Come on, man.
It's such a
Sorry,
dramatic-
sorry.
Read the room. Read the room. There is no want. there is only certainty and inevitability.
You know we are going to do everything we can to stop you, right?
Keel begins laughing in a really disconcerting manner. I need everybody to make a wisdom save.
Or fail
is-
a wisdom save.
Or
as
fail a
case
wisdom
may
save, that's fine too, yeah.
be.
Nick.
11 for
24.
Okay, Nick.
Total of 18.
18. Zuki.
24.
24. Reg.
11.
11. Zephyr.
11. So it's
Also
not just
11.
me this time.
That's right, it is not just you. The two of you, Reg and Zephyr, you take 5 points of psychic damage. Zuki and Nicholas, you feel icy tendrils reach into your mind and try to stab into your brain, but you fight it off. You start thinking of positive moments in your life, times when you've helped people, times when you have done something selfless and good, and those thoughts help you push the presence out. And as you do, Keel throws his head back, and you see both black energy and white energy just come shooting out of his mouth and dissipate into the air, and he just kind of drops to the ground and releases the necklace.
I run over towards him. Is he unconscious?
No, just dazed.
Okay. Are you okay?
I think so. What happened?
Are you hurt?
No,
You don't remember what happened?
I just remember black and white. That's it.
Something took you over. It was speaking through you.
Good things.
Not particularly. It wasn't fluffy bunnies and rainbows.
But it was close.
Not really.
Sam,
And she tells him what he was saying without.
Sam, would you mind storing this medallion away from everyone, please?
You turn and you look, and Sam is over by the bar. And he reaches over behind the bar
Is-
and he pulls a bottle out.
Sam, are you all right? Did you recognize that voice?
Didn't need to. You heard what it said? I think we all need a drink.
I did.
And he just grabs 6 shot glasses and he pours 6 shots of what to Reginald's eye is some pretty damn fine whiskey. This is the stuff that Reg may buy on a really special occasion.
I'm immediately terrified because I've been coming to this bar for years and I've never seen Sam give out free alcohol.
And he gives one to each of you, including Zuki. And he raises a glass and he says, "To the end of the world." And he clinks glasses with you guys. And he just throws it back and flips the glass over on the table.
To freedom and whiskey.
Zuki, the whole time, is just waiting for Reggie to take this out of her hand.
He doesn't.
I know.
It burns,
He does.
but
She coughs.
no, strangely you don't. It burns, but it's also
No?
soothing. There's something. I mean, you've never had alcohol really, except unless you count that Fey wine, but Reggie's always going on and on about how dangerous and bad it is, but this was it was warm, but it was soothing. You don't understand what the big deal about alcohol is. Reg, this is
Whiskey?
unlike any whiskey you've ever had.
Yeah, this is magic. This is enhanced in some way.
Yes.
All right. Well, that's fun. That whole thing. So apparently, I think we've discovered what those witches were speaking of. They were forewarning us about whatever's in the in-between trying to break its way into this realm, into this plane.
That seems logical to me.
And somehow it's up to us to stop it.
Sounds about right. Meanwhile, it's up to me to try and get the old girl up and running again, so we might have a refuge.
Yes, well, we will stay the course and try to make alliances. Tonight I have to meet with the Vampire Court, which has extended a challenge in my direction.
Now that sounds fun.
It's not.
No, I was being sarcastic.
I know, Seth. You're too good for this world.
Gotta be in some of them.
All right. Why don't we head back to my place, and Nicholas and Zuki, if you want to pursue the Winter Court. I'm not going to force you to. If you would rather come back with us and take a breather, there's no timetable, just the end of the world.
Well, I've got an idea
That's encouraging.
based on this concept of exchanged discussion points. Maybe it can use, I don't know what I got to exchange, but maybe we can find out some information about what's they know about this situation.
Yes. Actually, that's great. Zuki, how were you able to? Because you didn't hit the ground like I did and Zephyr did, and Nicholas, you seem to still be on your feet as well. What prevented you from not crumbling?
I don't know. I kind of felt like I was going to a happy place.
Yeah, I was pushing it away, but I had to push it away with good things.
Happy
things.
Yes, that makes a little sense. I need to go back to the apartment. I'm having an idea, and I don't know if it's correct or not, but I want to start writing things down. So I'm going to go back to the apartment. Do you two wish to speak to the fairy court?
Do you want us to wait for you to get back, or what?
No. Why don't you just meet me at the apartment, and we'll leave from there to go to the park.
Okay,
All right.
let's go.
Keel and Zephyr, you're welcome to come with me. Or if you have business that you would like to take care of here in the city, Nicholas, I totally forgot he had a job like a regular person. I don't know if the two of you have similar situations.
Well, I did until you guys blew this place up.
Well, there's plenty of cold pizza at the apartment.
I'm humming to myself, it's the end of the world as you know it. It's the end of the world as you know it. But no, let's go grab some pizza.
All right, so
'Cause I feel
Reggie,
fine.
Zephyr, Keel, heading back.
Yes.
Nick and Zuki, what are you doing?
I guess we are
Off to class.
picking up a crystal snowflake, and contacting the fairy court.
So Zuki clutches her necklace and says, and starts thinking about the fairy court, and the air starts swirling in front of you, and that familiar portal now begins to open. And as it does, a blast of cold air comes through, and you see on the other side a small pack of wolves again.
Hello, friends. I jumped through the portal.
Okay, Nicholas,
And here we go again.
you hear, "Is it time to play?"
It is.
And the wolf that you remember from last time grows large again and drops down on its haunches.
What is your name?
You may call me Ragnosata.
Ooh. Rak no Sotha. Can I call you Racky? Because I'm not sure I'm going to remember that name.
Sure. What should I call you?
You can call me Zuki.
Okay, that sounds fun. Is he coming too?
He
Bet you
is.
bottom dollar.
What do you say, Nicholas?
Bet your bottom dollar I'm going.
He can ride on Ascalado.
Excellent.
You probably shouldn't call him ass.
I would not recommend it. He doesn't have my sense of humor.
He is not
Escalate.
as much fun as we are.
Esperanto.
That will do. And so you hop on Rocky, and he hops on Esperanto, and you guys go bounding off into the snow, followed by the other wolves. And you guys take the public transit back to the apartment.
Aye, Captain.
And
Transit by wolf is way more fun.
It is. And in spite of the fact that it's wintry cold, the cold doesn't seem to be bothering either of you.
The cold never bothered me anyway.
Let it go.
Walked into it.
Somebody should take
You
one
did.
in the eye right now.
All right. And the portal closes, and so the three of you don't notice the wolves split off in different directions.
Wait, I wouldn't notice?
No, the three of them that were left behind don't notice. You notice that it seems like Suki's going a different way than you are.
Oh,
Escalator. That
What's
way.
No, that way is her way. This way is your way.
Uh-oh.
We're together.
oops.
Oh no, you just said that you should both come and take lessons. You never said they had to be together. Fairy bastards.
No, seems appropriate at this point. Well, all right. Forward, escalator.
He says, "Onward and upward," and he begins bounding up the side of a snow-covered hill.
Catch you later.
I say, where's he going?
He is going to his lessons.
We're not going to be together?
You have different things to learn. At least that is what the lady has said. And Guldarak
Lady
knows best.
Goldarak.
Guldarak knows best. She is very wise.
Okay.
I will take you to her now.
Onward.
And you go bounding off in a different direction. Nicholas, you eventually come to a cave, and the other wolves are there. So
I'm going
basically,
to learn pain and suffering. That's my lesson.
all of
Thank
the
you.
wolves except one have come with you. And when they get there with you, all of them shimmer and turn into elves.
But what?
And begin.
Your first lesson is that not everything is what it seems. Just as you are not everything you seem.
And
What do you mean, and? That was amazing. We were all wolves and now we're elves. You seem remarkably nonplussed by this.
yeah, not such a. Nope.
What would you have us do? Would you be more impressed if we ripped your limbs off?
Honestly, probably not.
What do you desire to know of your origins?
What do you know of my origins? And how would you know?
That is two questions, and you were asked first. We have already given you a gift.
Okay.
Don't you think it would be polite to give us a gift?
Certainly. I know of some really interesting stuff that's going on between the planes.
They all lean forward. Between the planes? And there's like a lot of whispering amongst them.
Oh.
Suddenly,
didn't answer.
they all plop down cross-legged and start staring up at you.
Story time.
Gather round, folks. It's about to get deep.
What about between the planes?
So you understand the concept between the planes.
Well, of course we do. We're not idiots.
Tell me what you know of, so that I know that you understand.
Give me a persuasion check.
Okay, so that's going to be a 19?
A 19. So he thinks for a second, kind of mutters to his friends, and he says, "That seems fair." And he begins regaling you with everything he knows about planar theory. Some of it gets a bit obscure and bizarre, possibly unbelievable. You're not sure how knowledgeable he is. You almost get the impression that... give me an insight check.
17.
You get the impression that he's trying to sound like he knows more than he actually does. There's some kernels in there that seem like they're factual, but there's also chunks in there that you feel he's pulling straight out of his ass. He's not trying to lie to you. He believes everything he's saying, but he doesn't know exactly what he's talking about. Meantime, Zuki is returned to the crystal table where Lady Goldurak is waiting for her. "My dear, you have returned so soon. I was not expecting you."
Now seemed like a convenient time.
"Ah, but convenient for whom? You look troubled."
I feel like you have a lot more information than I do. And so I worry that in exchanging questions one for one, I'm going to run out of things to say when when I have such interest in what you have to say.
She smiles. It's not a warm smile, but it's a very broad smile. As though she's pleased that you have made this insight, that there is definitely an unequal exchange going on here. "Very good, child. You are learning. You take to our ways quite naturally. But I should not expect any less. After all, you are the daughter of... Oh. I don't know if I should share that right off the bat, should I?
I don't know. Maybe you should.
You want me to just, straight out of the gate, blurt out your father's name?
Well, wouldn't it show a sign of the start of a trust?
I suppose it would. Let us work up to it. Tell me, what do you know of your father?
I never met him. As far as I know, he doesn't know I exist.
Oh, he knows you exist. I assure you of that. Don't you wonder how I know that he knows you exist?
Yes. Are you going to tell me?
Well, I am considering it. Let us say
Well,
that he has been in my service on many occasions. That while he is not specifically my servant, my sisters and I share him. I shall not give you his true name, but I shall give you one of his names. Would you like that?
yes, I would.
It will give you something to refer to him by, because I'm sure you don't know any of his names yet.
Please tell me.
That was not an answer, but very well. You neither confirmed my suspicion or denied it. She leans toward you. You are learning to shield yourself, aren't you? This is going to be such fun.
You were going to tell me his name.
I was. Vodith Ale. And
Vodis?
I will paste it in the
Ale?
chat for you, so that everyone may see his name. Which, from your knowledge of Sylvan, you know means great hero of the people.
Oh, sort of divine idea.
Your father is a great man.
So he's a knight?
Now, whatever gave you that idea? And now we're going to switch over to Reginald, Keel, and Zephyr.
And anyway, that's what I think the entire thing is all about. I think I solved the mystery, and that's what all of that what I just explained to the two of you, that's what I think is the whole thing. So.
A few things just aren't connecting with me, Reggie. Would you mind just going over it one more time?
Why, yes, I'd be happy to.
Cue back
yeah, so
to
we-
Zuki and no, just
So are we back at the apartment?
Yes, you are.
So this is just a theory, and I don't know how much of this is true or not. I got the idea when you were talking about how the Zephyr, when you and I were knocked down, and Zuki and Nicholas started talking about how thinking of the good thoughts and things like that seemed to pull them out of whatever sort of darkness was coming in. We've been viewing this explosion here at the Plaster Dragon as sort of an attack against one person or one group. But what if it wasn't? What if this explosion was to upset multiple groups at the same time, adding a sense of darkness to the city itself? I mean, think of it like this: the Northern Guild and the Southern Guild, they could have easily gone to war over this. I mean, we've got the vampires and the werewolves at each other's throats and attacking us for it. We have the League of Assassins that we are probably mixed up in this in somehow. We've got the fairy courts now that are the summer court and the winter court are at each other's throat. What if we've been viewing this all wrong? What if it wasn't an attack against one person? What if it was to sow the seeds of chaos and darkness, to make whatever it is in the outside plane easier to cross over? Does that make sense?
An imbalance of the powers to create a sense of chaos, kind of a deal.
The threads you saw were some were white and some were dark, and if we're talking about an in-between place in the plains, that makes sense. That summer has winter, northern has southern. You have a balance.
Keel, give me your religion check as he's telling you this.
That is a 19.
As he's saying this kind of stuff, you realize that the strands you saw could very easily have been you watching something unravel.
I'll share that. Just trying to piece anything together.
Something unravel. Like the fabric of reality. Like, were they killing two birds in one stone? Were they weakening that spot in particular to make it easier to cross over? Were we seeing the delicate balance of this plane? Did they find the weakest spot? Because we are beings of duality. We are beings of goodness and darkness, and of summer and winter. This would be, if you're a being that lives in the plains and you're trying to break in, this would be the ideal place to do it. And we may have found their point of entry. We may have just had drinks at their point of entry.
The middle ground, the safe space.
The safe space that was taken away from being a safe space. Do you know how many beings in the supernatural world are shaking in their boots because the one place they thought was safe is now not? How do you affect a community as a whole? You take away their bastion. It wasn't one person. It was all people. It was the entire community. The city of Boston is the invasion point.
Huh.
Did you take your phone or did you leave it with Sam, by the way?
I took it.
Figured you did, just asking.
Yeah. I've got it on the table. Can we take a quick peek at it to see if
Sure.
it's doing anything different?
If you stare at it for about 15 minutes and the pattern is still the same.
But we've yet to have any matching patterns. Nothing's come across as.
I mean, you've been starting to try to study the symbols. They're very ancient and archaic, and they're hard to wrap your mind around. But you have seen one or two come across that are similar to those that you've seen in the past, but you haven't seen a repeat of the pattern. When you saw a familiar one, the thing that came after it was not familiar, and so it disturbed the idea that, okay, we've finally found where the end of the pattern is, so this is the next thing.
It's almost like it's writing its own story.
That I mean, it could be any number of things. It could be tracking the balance. If this is a game of numbers, if the good, the threads, the unraveling, the different points.
And on that thought, we shift back over to Nicholas, just as his friend Escalator says, and that's everything I know about the plains.
Excellent.
And
all of you agree on this?
And they kind of look at each other, some of them nervously, like they're all looking to see who's going to nod. And finally someone nods and the rest of them go, oh, yes, that's how it works. And you do get some information out of it that you think might be real. Based on what you've been told and based on what they're saying, you think that certain planes reside in positive energy, certain planes reside in negative energy, and it's kind of the balance of good and evil. The good aligned planes are in the positive energy realm, the evil aligned planes are in the negative energy realm, and the energies start to intermingle along the wheel of cosmology. And you get a sense that, from what they're saying, nothing is supposed to be able to survive in the planes, in the spaces in between, which is just pure positive or negative energy. Supposedly,
Okay, so you
nothing
don't know
can
anything
live
about
there.
the beings that live there.
Nothing can live there.
Ah, I think that's where you're wrong.
Are we? What do you wish for this information?
Clearly, you guys don't have the information I need. I have more than you can accept. So how about you take me over to my friend, and I can get some real answers and exchange some real knowledge?
We are not supposed to bring you to her until it is time to go.
But don't you think she's going to want this information?
Who's going to want which information?
Don't play cool.
Okay, we won't play coy. What should we play?
Ah, great. Escalate me over to the other place, to my friend.
Escalate you to the other place.
With my friend.
Your friend is not here. We cannot escalate you with her.
You know your boss is going to want this information, right?
Does your friend not have this information?
No.
That seems very unkind of you.
Information is not exchanged freely. There is always a cost.
That is true. We will tell you of your origin.
That's not going to meet the cost.
Are you sure? Do you know who your real parents are?
I might be persuaded for that little bit of information to share something else, but not the whole story.
What would you be persuaded to know who your father was?
I'm not sure you even.
I know. I traded for that information only yesterday.
So maybe I should talk to that person, because they obviously have a little bit more information than you do.
Yes, but you have no way of getting to them. And I have no reason to get you there. Because what I had to pay for that information was to take you from your friend. That was the favor that I did.
Ah, and who asked for this?
Ah, that's information. What will you give me for it?
How about this? I know of a little bit more about who you're dealing with than I know about who you're dealing with.
I think you already said as much.
Maybe I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, so how about we start over?
Okay.
Tell me what you know about my father.
In exchange for what? You don't have to tell it to me. I just want to know what you are offering for that information.
How about I tell you a secret?
What kind of secret? I would need to... Obviously, it's a secret because I don't know it yet. So I need at least a little bit of what the secret is.
It's a secret I've not told anyone.
Oh, that is a good secret. All right. Your father was a human man from Boston, which is a place on your world. He died before you were born. His name...
And
Oh, did you want to say something?
yes, as a matter of fact, I'll stop you there. Where did you get this information?
That is information I have already told you. But
How about I just share this?
your friend
The
Reginald should have
information
told
is
you.
wrong.
Is it? Are you sure it's wrong? Your friend Reginald should have told you we cannot lie. We may mislead, but we cannot lie. If I tell you...
You may not be lying, but the person that told you.
They could not lie to me. If I tell you your father was a human man and that he died before your birth, that is a true thing. And now we're going to go back over to Zuki.
Okay, so she leans in really close because she really wants to read the expression here.
Okay.
And she says, so what you're telling me is that my father was a knight of the Winter Court, and one of his names was Duramir?
I don't believe I told you either of those things. But
Perception on her, or insight, I'm not sure which it would be, on her reaction when she says that.
it would be insight.
Okay. And because she's really, really looking closely for any sort of subtle expression, any sort of subtle change, like she set it up for that.
I'll give you
Is
advantage.
it just a straight up insight?
I'll give you advantage. Because you're clearly setting it up for this.
17, 6, 23.
Okay, with a 23, you pick up on some interesting things. She, at first blood, and because you're studying so intently and you're really trying to pay attention and soak this in, but you also know about the layers of duplicity of the elves because Reginald has warned you and warned you again. You catch a look of surprise sneak out that you have this information, which is almost confirmation that it's true, but as you try to digest this, you realize it was a forced look of surprise that she allowed you to see.
Oh.
You're in the big leagues now, kid.
Okay. So what'd she say?
She says, I don't believe I did tell you that information, but it seems you have discovered it anyway. Interesting. That, in and of itself, is information. So I will give you this for free. Your father, you say, was a knight of winter. I say, is a knight of winter. But worry not. Your father is a good man, and he loves your mother very much. And now we're going to switch over to Reginald, Zephyr, and Keel.
I mean, so are we still planning on going to the vampire court after they get back?
Yeah, I mean, we have to. They are an annoyance. They are dangerous and feral, and they're just as on edge as anyone else. I just don't know. I mean, how do you? If I'm correct, if I'm even near being any sort of correct, I mean, the only other thing that we have to analyze is that stupid bloody necklace. And whatever it is, if it's a countdown, if it's a signal, if it's a tracking signal, if it's a beacon, could it be a beacon? Could it be a way to pull them in? So if this is the entry point and the plane is incredibly large and there are multiple planes, you would need a connection. You would need a physical point. And if it was a beacon, then the fairies definitely would not want that in that realm, would they?
No.
If it is,
Because it's like
do we want to try to destroy it?
I mean, yes. Yes. Does anyone have any volcanoes lying around that they haven't told me about? If you, are any of you gods? If you're a god, you have to tell me.
No.
Maybe some giant eagles, something like that.
Eagles
Wait, I
solve
think I saw
all
this
our
movie.
problems.
But if that's the case, we need to warn Sam immediately. I go to instinctively reach for my cell phone and
Okay.
then slap my own hand away.
Okay.
Ask if any of them have a cell phone that I can borrow.
Toss in this old school Nokia flip phone, piece of garbage.
Oh my god. Keel, really? A flip phone? Do you play Snake on this? Jesus.
Anything nicer just fizzles out.
I understand. I call Sam at the bar immediately.
Okay.
And does he pick up?
Yellow.
Sam, I have a theory about what's coming in. I believe the outsiders used your bar as a.
And the call goes to static. And that is where we're going to end tonight's session.
Not Sam. No.
No, Sam. Thank
Just
you,
gave us
everybody
free-
in the audience tonight, for supporting us, for watching us. Obviously, next week we will pick up with Nicholas and his wolf friends, Zuki playing chess with a Fey Queen, and Reggie, Zephyr, and Keel trying to find out what happened to their phone call. If you guys are over on our Discord, we'll be hopping over to our voice chat there just to kind of hang out and debrief and decompress with you. Probably not a long one because some of us were up past midnight streaming last night as well, and others of us were probably up watching said stream. And surprise, watch the channel tomorrow because we may be having a game of Fiasco coming out of the blue. A new game for the channel that you guys may not have seen before. Fiasco is billed as the game of poor decisions and bad impulse control. And so expect to see a lot of horrible characters doing bad things to each other and nobody winning. That is the goal. Watch the announcement section to see what the details of that are. We're going to have to create some overlays and things. So it's going to be another one of those days where the staff at the Plastered Dragon start scrambling and throwing things together. But thank you all for watching. Thank you for supporting this channel. We're looking to keep growing and doing great things. Give us your ideas. Our web presence, our Discord presence, everything is going to grow. Thank you to my amazing cast of characters. Again, I had this session planned completely differently. You can ask Maya from where it went. We didn't do anything. We literally did not do anything that I planned tonight. Just so you guys
Really?
know. At all.
You're welcome.
Literally nothing.
Can you on the voice chat? Can you fill us in on like one small thing that we didn't get to do this evening?
Yes, absolutely, I will. So I'm going to stop
Awesome.
the stream now, and we will see you guys all in voice chat. Thank you and good night.